At the time of this recording, we're just 15 days away from the release for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. It's been a long wait. That's been a common point of conversation when it comes to this game. But with the long wait comes high expectations, a large, significant expansion over Breath of the Wild. So it raises the question, how big will this game really be? And it's been alluded to that there's quite a bit of size to this game, and with the latest previews, we've got a lot of confirmations of different theories and speculations we've had. Some things might be a little off, but a lot of things seem to be pointing in the direction we've been thinking, including the tiers of the kingdom. And when I say tiers, I don't mean the tears like crying or water, but rather levels. I think there are levels to this game, as we've discussed. But just how many levels are there? Well, that's what we're talking about today.
Hey, listen!
Welcome everyone, this is AndresRestart, and today we're having a bit of a discussion on the different tiers in Tears of the Kingdom. But before we jump into things, let me point out that we are aiming to hit 25,000 subscribers by the time Tears of the Kingdom comes out on May 12th. So if you do enjoy my content, please subscribe and hit that notification bell, because then we might just make it. So thanks to the latest previews from different major outlets, we now have a good understanding of how the map's going to look, because we literally have seen the map. And what's interesting about the map is that on the left side we see a column where there are these two circles, one for the sky and one for the surface. But you might notice that theoretically there could be more than just the sky and the surface icons. They could put a few more circles there and it wouldn't disrupt the flow or structure of the map in any way. So it begs the question, are there other tiers to Hyrule in Tears of the Kingdom? And I think there are. The one obvious one, if I had to guess, is the Underground. We've seen footage of the Underground, and there's been speculation of, oh, it's just like a pocket, it's not really anything significant there. But thanks to the recent TV ad that came out, we saw a unique underground area, and in this underground area, we saw that there was a mini-map, and it was an uncharted map. The implication being, since this is not the surface, and it's also not the sky, because we saw the coordinates being well underground, that it's a whole other map that's required for this underground area, suggesting that there are a lot of underground areas, and there's going to be a map needed with that as well. So my speculation is that for this preview event where we've gotten this footage, either it was taken out specifically for this demo, or it was something that had yet to have been unlocked or revealed because of how far they were into the game. So I think at some point or another, this map is going to be updated to have an underground icon as well. There'll be the sky, there'll be the surface, there will be the underground. There will be at least 3 tiers of the kingdom. And before I jump into even more wild speculation about there potentially being more, let's speak on this point of the naming. So The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, but tears as in crying tears, and we've seen these shapes that look like tears that seem to be important, seem maybe related to sages, and we may be collecting them and it could tie closely with the story. But it may have a double meaning. A while back, we put out a video talking about how we don't feel that the logo for Tears of the Kingdom is necessarily an Ouroboros, because an Ouroboros is a symbol that's meant to suggest eternity or a repeating cycle where a snake or serpent, it's going in a circle eating itself. But this logo is 2 dragons going in a circle not eating themselves. I think it suggests maybe something else, maybe something cyclical, maybe something to the idea of 2 forces working together or against each other, and it is cyclical. I've theorized, because we've seen the dragons going up into the sky from Breath of the Wild, that it might be related to this idea of exploring the heavens and perhaps going down below as well. And while that is just my own personal speculation, we don't really know, what we do understand is that Breath of the Wild refers to a few different things. Its logo, its naming, it's referring to the world, the way we explore the game. But it also has a silent princess there as well. There are multiple meanings to the title and logo. And I think the same could be said for Tears of the Kingdom. While Tears may be referring to these items that we're collecting that are tied to the story, it also could be a play on words relating to the gameplay of the game, exploring the different tiers, T-I-E-R-S, of the kingdom. And there's a pretty good chance that this map, once everything's said and done, has 3 different tiers: the sky, the surface, as we've already seen, and also the underground, as we just discussed. But what if there's more? Because again, there is space to put more than 3 icons in Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm not saying there needs to be more. But what if there's an icon for a deeper underground, or an icon for a deeper sky? Because if there's so much elevation to this game, it's going to be hard to portray different islands or caves that are layering upon each other on a map, hence why you have these different tiers showcasing different levels of elevation. And we know there's quite a bit of elevation in Tears of the Kingdom. They added this coordinate system where we can see that going down to negatives on the z-axis and also very high into the positives on the z-axis as well. And we still haven't seen Link get that high in Tears of the Kingdom. What happens when we approach 6, 7, 8,000? Can we even go that high? And if we do, what's there? Is that still deemed the sky, or is that something beyond? Now, I'm not saying necessarily space. I did put out a video recently where we theorized that Link might go to the moon or get so close that it looks really close. But we also talked about how this idea of exploring these golden islands in the sky could have to do with getting to the Sacred Realm. We may need to get to the Sacred Realm to get the Triforce to stop Ganondorf, given that he's stronger than ever before, and Zelda has alluded to this possibility that Link might not be able to beat him this time around. So maybe if we get high enough into the skies, there is the Sacred Realm. So it could be the Sacred Realm, the skies, the surface, the underground. There could be 4 tiers. And to that end, what if the underground isn't the end either? What if there's like a hell or an underworld where it's even deeper than the underground? We are fighting Ganondorf this time around, and he seems to be stronger than ever before. He has a lot of demise-like qualities. He is described as the Demon King. He has these malevolent forces. Maybe there's something to this idea. Where is he after all? He's probably not in Hyrule Castle. At least I assume that, because I don't think they would want to have the final boss fight in Hyrule Castle again. And also the recent TV ad suggests the Hyrule Castle is pretty approachable from the sky, so it would be really easy to get there, even easier than Breath of the Wild. So I doubt that. I think he's somewhere else, so maybe there is an underworld, or maybe we fight him in the Sacred Realm. We don't know. The point is that there are possibilities that they could go beyond just the underground and beyond just the sky in terms of exploring the up and the down. And on that note, I think it's also worth bringing up underwater exploration. Potentially, that might even be its own tier. It's possible that that could be fitted into the underground tier, but depending on how extensive the underwater exploration may be, it may need its own icon. And it may not be extensive at all to the point where there wouldn't be an icon, because there may not even be underwater exploration. We don't know if it's there or not. It's simply speculation. We've seen things to suggest this, and we've had various videos talking about the possibility. Recently, we discovered that there's a whirlpool on Lake Hylia, suggesting there's something going on there, either some kind of enemy, some type of challenge, or maybe it's a portal to under it. Maybe there's a dungeon there or a shrine, kind of like how there's always been some sort of massive water temple in Lake Hylia. Some have discussed that maybe there isn't water exploration because we haven't seen proof of it yet, but I think the idea with the underwater is it's something that's going to be expanded upon later. It's something we'll gain the ability to do. We've already seen in Tears of the Kingdom that they're going to give us more abilities as we progress. So for example, that purple ability that I'm not going to say in case you don't want to be spoiled, that's something we gain later on, not at the beginning. And there's also an open slot for another ability. It might just be a camera rune, but it could be something else altogether that's tied to exploring the world. And even in Breath of the Wild, when we obtained the Zora armor, we obtained different options to explore the water, like riding waterfalls and swimming faster. There were some options there. It's not totally a stretch, I would say, that maybe they could add underwater abilities later on into the game, but it's not guaranteed either. The point being, though, is that it's a whole other frontier that Link could explore, and it may also tie to a tier of the kingdom. And when I say tier, I mean T-I-E-R. So I think there are tiers to the kingdom. I think this is a play on words, And I think it's going to be exciting to explore all of this because it's suggesting a very large, expansive world, which is very exciting when it comes to a Zelda game. But what do you guys make of this idea of the different tiers in Tears of the Kingdom? Let me know in the comments below. This is AndresRestart. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I'll see you all really soon. Take care. Bye.